Part 1. Arrival. The British first arrived in Malaya around the 17th century. As trade increased in the 1730s, more British showed up. The British brought in many ships to the Malaysian shore for trading purposes. They formed the Madras Trading Company. The first Malaysian to have trade relations with the British traders was Sultan Ibrahim, which included Francis Light, who was part of the Madras Trading Company. The British trade helped strengthen Kuala Selangor's economy grow using several areas of trade such as cloth and opium from India, tin, ivory, and black pepper. As a result of the powerful presence of the British, Francis Light was able to succeed in occupying Penang, which was a strategic site for the British to build their operation house. Part 2. Politics. January 20th, 1874. The Pancor Agreement was signed. The British started to intervene in the politics of the Malaysian states. The British successfully occupied the Malay Peninsula states in Singapore, Penang, and Malacca, where they unified all these states under one administration called the Straits Settlement. Singapore was occupied by Stamford Raffles after he took advantage of a dispute between Tengku Hussein and the Johor Sultan Raja Jafar over who should be crowned as the Sultan of Johor. Raffles agreed to help Hussein be crowned the Sultan of Johor in exchange for a British military base in Singapore. The English-Dutch Agreement of 1824. It is the agreement that split Malaysia into two territories, the south controlled by the British and the north controlled by the Dutch. It aided the British in taking control of the Malaysian peninsula, including Sabah, Sarawak, Singapore, and Brunei. Part 3. Interference.
You're probably wondering why the British invaded the Malay. Okay, here's an expert to explain why.
Because we wanted to fully monopolize the tin trade and prevent other territories like the Dutch, French, and Italians from coming to Malaysia and forming relationships with the Malaysian Sultanate.
The British interfered in some of the federated Malay states, which are Perak, controlling their economy and finances of the state, Selangor, to appoint a British resident as deputy resident of Selangor, Negeri Sembilan and Pahang, to appoint representatives to be British residents of these states. Basically, the British used the resident system to take full control over the Malay states in administration and economy. This allowed the British to invest in industries like coffee to strengthen the economic sector. They also brought in special developments such as railways, roads, health centers, water, and electricity supply to the nation. This made the British powerful. Part 4. Resistance. The locals were willing to sacrifice their lives to free Malaysia from the British power. Many resistance movements were held across the nation with local figures leading them. In Nanning, Dol Said started the Nanning War to rebel against the British power, but he and his followers were defeated by British troops. In Perak, the Perak British resident Birch was assassinated by Malay leaders including Dato Maharaja Lela with weapons supplied by Sultan Abdullah. When the British attacked Pasir Salak, all the leaders were hanged, and they were once again defeated. In Pahang, the locals held protests led by Malay leaders Dato Bahaman, Mat Kilau, and Tok Kaja against the resident system. With a strength of 700 men, they started a rebellion in 1891. Once again, they were defeated. In Kelantan, the locals revolted against the resident system led by Malay leader Janggut. Janggut was killed. In Sarawak, the people rebelled with Rentap as their leader, but were defeated. Rentap was killed. In Sabah, two rebellions were held, one led by Mat Saleh and the other by Antanon. Once more, they were defeated and killed. No rebellion has ever worked, and almost all leaders of those rebellions were killed. So you're probably wondering what happened after the British rule ended. The Japanese came and took over. That's it. So that's another story for another video. But for now, thank you for watching the United Nations video. Don't! Why'd you slap?
No smile. Ready? And no, look at the camera.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Don't talk. He's speaking. Don't talk again. The thing, once the light bulb reached the top. Oh. And go.
Sorry to interrupt. It's so weird.
I know, I'm so sorry. Okay, let's do it. Let's do it one more. Let's do one.
What happened after shit? You're filming the window.
Okay, ready?
Like all proud, like I'm never at this bitch.
YOLO.
Okay. What? Watching the United States. No.
United States! The United States!
The Japanese came and took over. But that's another
Why are you laughing?
That's another story when the Japanese took over. But for today, thank you for watching the United States. The United Nations!
Again.
Are we states? Oh.
Yo, just hungry! I gotta eat! Guys, don't laugh! Okay, again. Okay, start arguing. Guys, speak! Speak, yeah, guys, you have to speak.